For the last 4 years, Chelsea's transfer strategy was easy to understand. Find the best teenagers in world football, hand them long-term contracts, and hope they eventually become superstars. It was a project built around potential rather than certainty. Sometimes it worked. Estevao Willian already looks like one of Europe's brightest young talents. Other times it didn't. Kendry Pa's development has stalled, while several expensive prospects are still struggling to establish themselves at Stamford Bridge. But something has changed since Xabi Alonso walked through the doors. Chelsea are no longer signing players simply because they might become great one day. They're beginning to sign players who can help them win today. We've already seen the interest in Granit Xhaka, Marco Palestra and Maxence Lacroix, and now another unexpected name has emerged, Pep Chavarria. If you had asked Chelsea fans 6 months ago whether a 28-year-old Rayo Vallecano fullback would become one of the club's priority targets, most would have laughed. He isn't a global superstar. He isn't a wonder kid worth £70 million. In fact, he didn't even make his La Liga debut until he was 24 years old. Yet Xabi Alonso is personally pushing Chelsea to sign him after Marc Cucurella's move to Real Madrid. That tells you everything about how Chelsea's recruitment is changing. This is no longer about collecting talent. It's about building a team that perfectly fits the manager's vision. And once you understand what Chavarria actually brings on the pitch, you'll begin to understand why Alonso believes he could become one of Chelsea's smartest signings of the summer. Pep Chavarria's journey is the complete opposite of modern football's typical success story. Unlike many Chelsea signings who were labeled future stars before turning 18, Chavarria had to earn every step of his career the hard way. Born in Zaragoza, he spent years climbing through Spain's lower divisions before finally getting his opportunity with Real Zaragoza. Even then, nobody expected him to reach Europe's elite level. His move to Rayo Vallecano in 2022 under Andoni Iraola completely transformed his career. Iraola immediately recognized something that statistics alone couldn't measure: his relentless work ethic. Chavarria became one of La Liga's hardest-working fullbacks, constantly bombing up and down the left flank while never neglecting his defensive duties. Under current coach Inigo Perez, his game evolved even further. Instead of simply overlapping on the outside, he learned when to underlap into central areas, when to drift into midfield to overload possession, and when to stay deeper to protect the defense. That tactical intelligence helped Rayo Vallecano enjoy one of the greatest seasons in the club's history, reaching the UEFA Conference League final while finishing 8th in La Liga. Chavarria made 44 appearances across all competitions, becoming one of the first names on the team sheet. His statistics tell the story of a complete modern fullback. He ranked among La Liga's best players for open play crosses and corners won, while also finishing among the league leaders for blocks, recoveries, and regaining possession in the defensive third. Very few defenders contribute so much at both ends of the pitch, but perhaps his greatest strength isn't his crossing or athleticism. It's his mentality. Former coaches describe him as someone who gives 200% every single day, someone who raises standards inside the dressing room rather than simply performing on match days. That type of personality is exactly what Chelsea have lacked during difficult moments over the past few seasons. This is where the transfer starts making perfect sense. During his time at Bayer Leverkusen, Xabi Alonso completely changed how people viewed wingbacks. They weren't simply defenders anymore. They became some of the most important attacking players in his entire system. Alex Grimaldo and Jeremy Frimpong stretched opposition defenses, created overloads, delivered dangerous crosses, and constantly arrived in advanced positions. Their movement allowed Leverkusen's attacking midfielders to drift inside while maintaining width high up the pitch. Chavarria may not possess Grimaldo's extraordinary left foot, but he offers many of the same tactical qualities Alonso demands. He never stops running. He understands when to overlap, when to underlap, and when to step into midfield to create numerical superiority. Chelsea don't necessarily need another creative genius on the left because Joral Hato is already expected to inherit much of Marc Cucurella's role after arriving this summer. Instead, Chavarria provides something different: depth, tactical flexibility, and a player perfectly suited to Alonso's preferred wingback system. Should Chelsea switch to a back three, Chavarria instantly becomes a natural left wingback. If Alonso chooses a back four, he has the experience to operate as a traditional fullback. That versatility makes him incredibly valuable over a long Premier League season. However, there are still genuine risks. At 28, this would likely be his only opportunity to play for one of Europe's biggest clubs. He's never played outside Spain, never experienced the relentless intensity of English football, and occasionally struggles with discipline, collecting red cards against both Real Madrid and in European competition. His attacking output could also improve, with just 1 goal last season despite frequently reaching advanced positions. Whether Chelsea ultimately agree Rayo Vallecano's £15 million asking price remains uncertain. The Blues are believed to have offered around £10 million, with negotiations continuing between both clubs. But perhaps the transfer fee isn't the biggest story here. The real story is what Pep Chavarria represents. Just 12 months ago, Chelsea probably wouldn't even have considered signing a player like him. He doesn't have massive resale value. He isn't a teenage sensation with unlimited potential. Instead, he's an experienced professional entering the best years of his career. Someone who has earned every opportunity through consistency rather than hype. That perfectly reflects the direction Chelsea appear to be heading under Xabi Alonso. The club are still investing in exciting young players like Marco Palestra, Dostan Satpiv, and Joral Hato, but they're now surrounding them with experienced professionals who understand how to win, compete, and lead. It's a far healthier balance than the previous strategy of relying almost entirely on potential. If Chelsea complete deals for players like Granit Xhaka, Maxence Lacroix, and Pep Chavarria, this squad will begin to look far more like a team built to challenge immediately rather than one constantly waiting for tomorrow. Chavarria may never become the face of Chelsea Football Club. His name won't dominate shirt sales or generate worldwide headlines. But every successful team needs players who quietly perform every single week without demanding attention. Those are often the players managers trust most. Alonso has already shown at Bayer Leverkusen that hardworking, tactically disciplined wingbacks can become the foundation of a title-winning team. If he believes Pep Chavarria is the right fit for his Chelsea project, perhaps that's all the evidence supporters need. If Pep Chavarria becomes a success at Chelsea, will this finally prove that the right profile matters more than a famous name? Let me know what you think.